Welcome everyone to the Radio Toons podcast. How's it going?
It's going great, man.
I'm Steve.
I'm Ernie.
Hey, Ernie.
Yeah.
Golden Globes happened this week. Do you care about that?
I had to work it, so no, I don't.
Okay.
But there was something good that came out of it.
What came out of it?
So while I was working, I forgot that they have an best animated movie, and the Spider-Verse won. So
Into the Spider-Verse.
In Spider-Man Into that Spider-Verse won.
That's a great movie. I'm glad that it won. More on that right now, but I was just like...
right now.
I don't even know what the Golden Globes is.
It's an award show.
I know it's an award show, but like... Yeah, because I was seeing like actors who do TV shows tweeting about how they're going, and I was like...
Yeah.
So it's TV and movies?
It's TV and movies, but it's not as prestigious, I guess you would say, as the Oscars.
Okay.
Because it's like they're
Oscars
a little
also
more.
Has TV?
No, I think the Oscars is all movie.
Okay. See, they have too many damn award shows nowadays.
But it was a little more casual. They had a lot of jokes.
Okay.
Like Andy Samberg and Sandra Oh were the hosts.
They were trending like the whole time.
They made some good jokes. It was some good stuff.
Okay. Andy Samberg is that kind of comedian who I don't hate him. And I just don't really mind him. There was a bit that was like, okay, this is like the amalgamation of all these. So it was like Sandra Oh and Andy were like, hey, and Jim Carrey's here, and Jim Carrey's like, hey, what's up? And they're like, hey, Jim, so you didn't have a movie this year, so you're actually here for Kidding, his HBO series, where he plays like a Mr. Roger, and they're like, so we're gonna have you move to the TV series. You're kidding, right? He's like, you have a show called Kidding, but we're actually not kidding. That's what makes this awkward, and it's terrible. It was terribly played out and everything, but. Like Jim Carrey kind of saved it with his vamping or whatever, but it was funny. He's a funny guy,
and they typically don't do that at the Oscars. Typically,
okay. So this one's a little more jokey, a little more
jokey, and they're a little more loose,
a little less pretentious.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I would say that, but yeah,
okay,
you could classify it as that.
Yeah, Jim Carrey's he's a funny guy. He's a very charismatic individual. I
like him better with the short hair. I didn't like him with the long hair.
I don't. Yeah, actors go through all kinds of different looks, but I was thinking like at one point in the fucking 90s, like everything revolved around this man. There was like I was watching Ace Ventura 1 on Netflix the other day, and I was just looking at how like so many scenes in that movie are just him. They're just, the screen is just constantly like, I was like, can you imagine if this was your life? Like, you fucking run this whole movie. Like, that's how a lot of Jim Carrey's movies are. They're just like, it's you. It's all you, dude. Like this movie would not work with anybody else playing that character, basically, you know? Like, and I mean, like, I'm not saying he's like a comedic genius. I'm just saying, like, character-wise, he is the one who gets really into character, and he definitely, like...
He's I think in some respects, Jim Carrey's pretty brilliant. Like, in that movie that you're talking about, Ace Ventura, the script says, the script reads something like, Ace exits the bathroom, makes his way over to this door, and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, it's a 5-minute, it's like a 2-minute continuous shot, and it's just Jim Carrey vamping and being physically funny. Until he gets it. There's no lines or anything.
Him escaping the bathroom, like, out to the garden or whatever.
And literally he decides to... There's no reason for him to go on the other side of the railing, but he does because he's playing like he's an action star.
Yeah. Or like a spy. Right?
Yeah, he's a spy. That whole thing was completely improv. And it's one of the funniest scenes in the movie. Yeah. Because he's just like, look, he's pretending to be an action star.
Yeah. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like, I'm sure the director, like, you know, typed out alrighty then, but the delivery you cannot type out, you know? The delivery is
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the original line was all right then.
Yeah.
And he just said all right.
Yeah. The original line was okay. And
the original line was really. And he went,
yeah, there you go. no, he's. I mean,
he knows what
who am I to say anything about him, right? He's obviously he's got a lot under his belt. He's a legend.
He's a weird dude.
I'm just not like the biggest fan of him, you know.
I was, but definitely back in the day. But his dramatic stuff, hit and miss for me.
Yeah, you can't that's what Steve Carell's trying to do nowadays. It's like, you know,
we already heard your thoughts on Welcome to Marvel. We're not going back to that. It's funny, we had this whole discussion because like I told some friends, I was like, my brother went to watch Marwen. He didn't really dig it.
You told people.
Yeah, because they were talking about like Steve Carell and some stuff. We went to like 40-Year-Old Virgin territory.
Okay.
Still his best role. Still his best role.
Yeah, okay, boy, sure.
It's for me.
Alrighty.
Anyway, and they were like, yeah, these weird movies, blah, blah, blah. And then they started naming off some other, like, Steve Carell stuff. And they were like, in real life. And so, what is it? Little Miss Sunshine?
Wasn't he in The Big Short?
I heard Big Short. No, I don't think he was. You talking about Get Smart?
No. There's a movie called The Big Short, and I thought he was in it. I thought it was like 3 people. I'm not sure who it was. I heard it was pretty good, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I think those are the same. I think those are the same, akin to like what is it? Jim Carrey doing The Majestic, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Right. Yeah.
And
I mean, it's natural. Like you get tired of doing the same shit. You don't want to be typecast. I completely understand that.
But you remember that weird horror movie he did, The Number 23?
Oh yeah.
He forgets.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah. Well, anyway. So Spider-Verse got nominated or won the best animated film.
It was up against some big stuff: Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Myriad, which was like a Japanese film, I think, and Ralph Breaks the Internet. And considering that's 2 Disney films going up against it, count 2, it won. I mean, and people saw it late.
Okay, sorry, real fast. The Big Short does feature Steve Carell, but it's like one of those all-star cast movies because it's got fucking everybody. It's got like Margot Robbie.
So it's Anchorman 2.
It's got Margot Robbie, Selena Gomez, Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt. Okay, so it's
Anchorman 2. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, don't even talk about that. You're talking about that cameo scene where like everybody comes out?
Will Smith's there, Kanye West is there. John C. Reilly shows up.
Not to go on a tangent, but Anchorman 2 is not as bad as people say it is.
I liked it.
I thought it was pretty funny too. There was like Will Ferrell is another one of those people where like you just let him be on camera for a while, let him do a couple of takes, and he will make that shit funny. You know, like he definitely has some stinkers. Like Semi Pro was like,
dude. Speaking of Will Ferrell, not to even go further on a tangent,
yeah.
But I heard like. Friends came back to me, I think this week, and they were just like, "Yeah, I watched Holmes and Watson."
Oh, I heard it was bad,
terrible. I was like, "Oh no!"
I heard it really fucking bombed.
I kind of want to see it now, just because it's that bad.
I actually saw a tweet that said it has a lower Rotten Tomatoes score than Sherlock Gnomes, so people prefer the Gnomes version over Will Ferrell's version. Yeah, I mean. Honestly,
I saw the trailer and I was like, "This is a big pile of garbage." But I thought the same thing about Step Brothers, and I ended up really liking Step Brothers.
Step Brothers is okay to me, but like that's
you can watch it.
That's what I don't like about Will Ferrell. Is sometimes I'm just like, you think you can just play every fucking character, and like when you go into like Sherlock Holmes territory, I'm like, no, okay, now you're personally affecting my life, and I don't like that. So.
But I guess it's like one of those things where he's like, you play a sleeper, you come up with something that's kind of out there, and you end up coming up with something good. Because like Step Brothers is the weirdest premise. Like these grown ass men, their parents are getting married. Yeah. Like it's such a weird. Or like what's the other one? The other guys with him and Marky.
That one wasn't bad.
I liked it.
It was a little bit strange.
That's the thing. It's like those are funny because you don't expect anything out of it. But you look at Sherlock Holmes and like that's a nice property. You better not fuck it up, and that's what
they completely fucked.
They completely fucked with it.
Wasn't he in that one with Kevin Hart?
Which one?
Was that somebody else?
Oh yeah, Get Hard. I think it was called. Where they go to prison or something.
Yeah, was that him or was that somebody else?
No, it was. Literally the cover is like Kevin Hart braiding his hair.
Yeah, exactly.
I think something like that. Yeah.
So all terrible movies. He makes terrible movies. Don't get me wrong.
He makes good ones though. But like I enjoy in Anchorman 2. I enjoy the scene where he's at the lighthouse because he's blind, and you see what kind of mayhem is in his house.
It's funny too because there's a bunch of outtakes of that scene, and like what's her face? Christina Applegate goes to his house.
Yeah.
And he's like touching her face, trying to figure out who she is because he's blind.
Yeah.
And she's like, "It's me, Ron. It's me. How do you not know who it is?" And he's touching her face, and he goes, "Billy D. Williams." It's like he's so ridiculous.
I don't know how they hold it sometimes. I swear.
Yeah, the outtakes are funny just because you can tell that like Christina Applegate's having the worst time like trying to hold in laughter and
yeah.
Real quick though, if I know you're not gonna finish The Office because why would you?
No, I basically stopped right after Steve Carell left.
Right, but look up those episodes with Steve with
I've heard they're good
with Will Ferrell. I think there's only like 2 of them.
Yeah.
They are actually fucking funny because that guy is like. I'm not trying to say like he's. Like movie comedians are better than TV comedians, but there's definitely like an aura coming off of him. Like he is definitely like he is definitely better than the entire cast of The Office.
There was this stupid. You know how he Cohen's Funny or Die.
Yeah.
There was this stupid scene. There was this stupid
skit
thing that he did called Green Team.
Okay.
And it's him. Will Ferrell, it's John C. Reilly, and Adam McKay.
Okay.
And you can tell, like, the difference in the 3 of them is, like, bounds. Like, Will Ferrell's obviously the standout. Then John C. Reilly's, like, pretty on his level. And then Adam McKay is, like, what? Yeah. Like, it's crazy to think. It's just some, like, throwaway sketch they did for the website, but their acting abilities are so like.
I see what you mean.
You know
like
what I mean?
The difference is clear.
It's very clear.
Yeah.
It's insane.
How crazy though, because John C. Reilly to me is like he's up there. I feel like he's worked his ass off to get like where he is at this point.
Dude,
like
he can go from doing something on Adult Swim like
he's Ralph.
Steve Brule.
Yeah, to be Wreck-It
Ralph. And then he goes back to doing some fucking serious ass role. Like I bet you next year he comes out in some fucking drama. Because he has that kind of range.
Next year I heard that he's not going to be in Wreck-It Ralph 3 because he's going to do Holmes and Watson 2.
That's not true. That's not true. They're not going to do a Ralph 3.
They might. I don't know, man.
Oh my God.
Ralph...
For sure they're doing an Aquaman 2. Because it's still number one at the... You know what? It's still number 1 at the box office, but... It's like, what the fuck came out in the last 2 weeks?
Hey, you know
Nothing.
What? Spider-Man deserves that spot, okay? If you guys haven't seen Spider-Man, go watch it.
That's your homework.
I was actually showing Ernie right before we started the podcast. There's this thing called Script to Screen.
Mm-hmm.
They have a Twitter account, and sometimes they'll post like short clips. I think you go to their website and you see it in its entirety or something. But they post like tweets that has like 1 minute clips of the script scrolling along with the scene of the movie. Mm-hmm. And it's really cool because they do that leap of faith scene from Spider-Verse, the famous trailer, the famous part of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just cool because you get to see all the little details that the script points out that you might not even think about. Like for one, like when Miles Morales jumps off the roof, they show him, upside down. The city above him, and he's like rising.
Right.
The script says like he's not falling; he is rising. As this is a big moment for Miles Morales, and it's like, wow, I didn't even fucking like that's not something that you think would be in the script. I thought maybe that would be something that like the director would maybe like, like I just thought it would be cool if we did this visually, but it's like no, that was in the fucking print. Like
it's subtle, but it's supposed to make you subconsciously realize something, and then until somebody points it out, you're like, oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and then it goes on to say like, oh, and when he's swinging around, he's not just like swinging like a typical Spider-Man. He's like running and jumping off of cars and stuff.
Parkouring.
Yeah, it's like his own unique style of web swinging with the Miles Morales twist and all that.
Right.
Just so cool. It's just like those little bits of character that they throw into Miles and like even like Gwen and Peter B. Parker. Just so. It's what makes the movie feel like so high quality. It's like there's so many details to look for. Like subsequent views is something that like is warranted. You know, like you wanna watch this movie a lot of times. really soak in all that's going on and stuff like that.
Which is why it's not surprising that they won Best Animated Film. Because it truly felt more like, to be honest, it felt more like a film than an animated film.
Yeah.
Like, it was obviously stylized and everything, and superheroes, in my opinion, work best when they're drawn. Because you can colorize everything. You control every aspect of something when it's colorized like that. So.
Yeah, Spider-Man especially, I've always liked the stretchy eyes.
Yeah.
Like, making them big and squint. Like, it's just awesome. Like, that's just something that's so, like, doesn't make sense, right? But it's like, yes, like, I want that. Like, please. Like, I'm actually glad that they even tried to do something like that in Homecoming with, like, with new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, making it so, like, his eyes, like they don't shrink necessarily, but they kind of like Deadpool, how they, like, I don't know how to describe it. They squint. They have, like, a Tony Stark, like, mechanical thing that makes them squint or something. Yeah. But, yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm glad they did that. So, yeah, I guess that's all we care about at the Golden Globes, right?
Well, yeah, for us anyways.
I finished Always Sunny season 12.
Finally.
I finally finished it. I was watching it last week. Yeah. And I was pretty happy with it. I liked it. There was a few episodes that were, like, kind of drifted in and out, but Always Sunny is a show that's been, like, constantly, like, good quality, like, for fucking 12 seasons. Like, that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
And you were saying that season 13 is, like, on Netflix?
Yeah, so a friend of mine,
I don't know if
literally, like, we have this instant messenger service in our building. It's called Slack. I'm sure most of you know what it is.
Never heard of
it. But what's really funny is that as soon as there's any, like, Always Sunny memes or anything that comes out,
you guys have a group chat.
We have a group chat for it. So we instantly know when things are going down. Okay. So season 13 came out today while we're filming this.
I'm going to go home and watch that
so we're
going
to start watching it. So, get ready for not just today's Sunny review, but 13 as well. I really liked this season because they decided to go, like, so hard on some things that people just shy away from. Like, the first episode, like, is the gang. You mean? Yeah, the first episode, the gang just decides that they're like, that old man from that old man is still sleeping with Mac and Dennis from the bet.
Old black man?
Yeah, old black man.
Yeah.
So when he's there, they all get electrified and then they turn black.
Oh yeah, that's from season 12, right?
Yeah. So, like, the whole episode is this weird, like,
it's like a musical.
It's a weird musical because they also were talking about The Wiz. So it's like, it's really funny, and then, of course, Frank is like, I can say the N-word now, right? Because I'm black.
I think that's what Always Sunny does really well, is, like, they talk about, like, topics that people don't necessarily like to talk about, that, like you said, they shy away from. But they also do it in a way that kind of, like, it's funny, so it's like
it softens the blow.
It does soften the blow, yeah. But it's almost like everyone's on this level with, like, Always Sunny that's, like, it's okay for them to do it because we know they're joking. They're not trying to take some, like, stance on it. You know what I'm saying?
They're just pointing out that this is how things are.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the I don't want to spoil the end of that episode, but things go back to normal, obviously. But the way they decide to end it was pretty amazing, even for Sunny. And then I was like, nothing got resolved.
Yeah. I think the first 3 episodes were super funny.
Did the first 3 contain Fight Milk?
No, because the Fight Milk was kind of where I dropped off too. I was like, okay, these are whatever. I mean, they gotta make a whole season. I get it. Like, but I heard season 13. One of my friends who's already watched it. He said it was, like, super fucking funny. Yeah. And I think that's ridiculous because, like, supposedly, like, they're down a member or something. Like, that's what the whole whole controversy on Twitter was, like, that Dennis was supposed to leave.
Yeah, something. Because he was doing AP Bio, and he's working with he's essentially working with Mac on a new show that Sweet D ended up joining. Like, the 3 of them were working on something. Because I think Charlie Day's working on something.
So Charlie's asked out.
Well, I think he's working on a movie or something.
Oh, okay.
He's busy, trust me.
That's so crazy that he's like the one that branched out to movies.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, like he's definitely one of my favorite characters, but like.
Well, she had her own show for a while too. She had a show called The Mick.
Oh yeah, she doesn't anymore?
No, they canceled it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why she kind of hopped over there.
Okay.
But season 13 has a big cliffhanger because at the end of season 12, for a reason that I guess we could do spoilers, right?
I mean, I don't know. I was just like well, from what I saw on Twitter, basically before I even watched season 12, people were just mad. Like Dennis Reynolds, what's his name? It's Rob McElhenney, Charlie Day, and who? What's his name?
Glenn Howard?
Glenn Howard, yeah. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Is it Glenn Howerton?
Could be Glenn Howerton. Okay.
Sorry. He was trending on Twitter, and people were just like pissed because they were like, "Are you leaving Always Sunny, or what's going on?" And all this shit, and like, so yeah, like, I'm not. We don't have to spoil anything, but it's like they leave you with like an ambiguous ending that kind of tells you like he might be back or he might not. He might be busy or whatever, you know.
That episode in particular is really funny. I thought it was super funny.
It was, and they acted. It was really weird too because they try like throughout the season they kind of try and like humanize him.
Well, because like essentially what they're trying to do is make it so he's vulnerable at the end.
Yeah.
You know, so that this event that happens to him.
Yeah. It
basically splits him halfway. Is he going to be the old Dennis where he has no feelings, or is he going to be this Dennis that has emotions? Did you? Because remember, in the very beginning of the season, they also do the Making a Murderer parody.
Yeah, I didn't think that episode was so funny. I honestly like.
I actually thought it was really creepy.
Yeah, like I heard a lot of people were saying like that episode was genius, and I don't know if it was just because I was tired. But I was like, I did not. I don't think I laughed the entire time. Like I was just. It was just a weird episode to me, and then like. Charlie in that episode had eaten he'd taken tranquilizers or something.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even acting like himself. So that was another reason why I was just kind of like, what is happening in this episode? It's just like, I don't know.
I thought it was funny just because of the parody of the whole thing. And also just the things that Dennis had to do just to like. So essentially, what they to kind of. Synopsis the whole thing.
You know, just spoilers. I don't give a shit
anymore. It's basically making a murderer because the Ponderosa girl is dead.
Yeah, I think her name is Maureen.
Maureen, there you go. Because she essentially had turned herself into a cat at this point. What's it called? She was taking a lot of Dennis's money. So they were just like, of course he killed her. Of course he killed her. Of course he killed her. I just thought it was funny that like because of the investigation, he had to admit all this stuff he was doing for her. Yeah. So she'd take a couple bucks off the alimony.
What was one of them? It was like he
had to lick her.
He had to lick her. Yeah, he had to like lick her back or something. It was really weird.
So good.
And then you know what was crazy about that episode? I thought was like they just killed off Maureen. Like she's not coming back. It's kind of weird. She's
not coming back anymore.
That's so weird. Which is
I mean, she was basically out anyway.
No, but it was another reason why I was like sure that I was like so we're doing spoilers now. I don't give a shit. I was sure that he was just gonna die at the end of the season or something. I was like,
they'd keep him around.
Yeah, like because I had heard like season 13, they're just like, oh, so the episode started like episode 1 started and he wasn't there or something.
Right. So it was in the trailer. Like the trailer is like Mac isn't dealing with Dennis being gone very well, and they show that he had a blow-up doll of his made to look like Dennis.
Okay.
But because it's a sex doll, it has its mouth open for like, like...
Right, yes. For things.
And also he's wearing the duster and he's all ripped now without Dennis around, so he actually did get super ripped.
Oh, really?
You didn't see it?
No, I haven't seen it. So.
Rob tweeted out a picture of himself all like fucking shredded. He's like, see, it's totally obtainable, guys. Just have a studio pay for a personal chef, countless of hours at the gym, have no social life, and then you can look exactly like this.
That's funny.
He's a really funny dude.
He's fucking dedicated. He's like...
he's super ripped in the whole series.
I love that story about, like, he's like, yeah, was it season 5? He was like, I wanted everybody to get fat, but nobody wanted to do it.
So I just did it.
So I just got fat by myself. That's so great.
So, like, why did you not like the fight milk one. I thought that was brilliant.
I just think it didn't have as many like punchlines. I thought a lot of it was just physical, like.
It was a lot of physical stuff because, like, it's one of those things like Wolf Cola, where it was like they tried to go one way with it, and then when they found out they could make money this way, they immediately changed to go that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, the story goes that the Fight Milk stuff, somebody was using it. Like, these big UFC fighters were using it. And they're like, oh my gosh, we could revive Wolf Cola, or the Fight Milk. So they do another video, and then they start getting, like, Fight Milk... Fight Milk merchandise and everything, and then they find out they're using it because as soon as you drink it, you like have like ridiculous diarrhea. You throw up, so you can cut weight right before
body. Your body like evacuates every fluid, and like they're like talking to them while they're on the toilet and shit, and they're just like, "Oh, dude, we love it, bro," and then they just like they're like taking massive dumps, which is like okay. Like, let me point something out. Like, that's... Okay.
See, that's the kind of stuff I like. It's like, they have no shame.
It's
as
fun.
long as they're making money.
It's funny, okay? Like, throw up, sure, it's funny, whatever. But what I was talking about earlier, how Always Sunny has this way of, like, discussing topics in a very, like, comedic way or a very unique way.
Yeah.
So... Let me point out the water park episode as an example of this.
Oh my gosh, the water park episode.
In the water park episode, they go up the slide, Dee and Mac, and they clearly ignore the guy who's telling them you're gonna get stuck, and they just go down anyway, and they go like, yeah, right, nerd, and they go down and they get stuck.
Right.
To me, that's funny not just because of the physical aspect of it. Like, yes, clearly, like.
Do you remember why he got stuck, though?
Yeah, because of the bracelet.
Because he has been... It's like... The same thing always happens with the gang.
Yeah, hold on. He gets stuck because of the bracelet. But what I'm saying is that it's funny because it's showing you that, like, this guy's an idiot. Like don't be like them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the same thing with, like, the gun episode. It's like, don't be like them because this is what it looks like.
What was the gun episode again?
They all buy guns at the end of the episode.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's
like,
right.
So it's like shit like that, you know, or like even in episodes where they're just like they may be stupid, but like even they themselves are not racist. Like they themselves are just like, oh, whoa, you can't.
I just love it because Mac's like, yeah, I got my bracelet back in 19 whatever, and I just laminated the crap out of it, so it's indestructible. Yeah. So no matter what, I can get it, and that's what ends up getting caught on the bolt.
Yeah. It's poetic justice, actually.
I just love it because at some point they're like they talk about how there's pee in the water. Yeah. And then that's exactly the thing that happens is they get peed on because the kid that like gets stuck above them, like, don't you dare pee. I peed as soon as I got here. Yeah. What? Why? The diesel. It's like I did too.
It's almost like Seinfeld, where like you have that aspect of like it's okay to laugh at these people because they're shitty people and shitty things are happening to them, right. You know? And that to me is like so hilarious for some reason. Like, I mean, like it's funny to everybody else too, but like to me specifically, the fact that like it's almost like you're allowed to laugh at this. You know what I'm saying?
Because they're idiots.
Like it's shitty what's happening to them, but they deserve it. You know, like that's.
I forget what happens to Dee. Is she there at the water park?
Because she gets stuck right above him.
Yeah, that's right. She gets stuck. Danny DeVito and Charlie are trying to hit everything. Yeah. And they hit it all in 2 hours. Yeah.
So their thing is that like Danny DeVito is like, oh, handicapped people or people with diseases can go to the front of the line at the water park. So he tells everybody that he has AIDS.
That's right.
And he starts writing everything before everybody. And then there's one ride that's like, oh, that's not open yet. There's no water on it. And he's just like, it's all right, I have AIDS. And he goes up. He goes up anyway.
What I really like is that Charlie and Frank always have the stupidest ideas. And some of the times it works out for them, like boiling denim and shit like that. It works out for them. But here's the thing, right? They go up there and they need water for the slide. And so Charlie just brings like a cup of water and throws it down the slide. He's like, I think that's enough.
Yeah. And then Danny DeVito slides down. It makes the most disgusting sound. He arrives at the bottom and he's like, his entire back is just blood.
It's basically road rash all the way down.
It's so disgusting. But it's so funny because, again, it's like, to me, I'm like, you fucking deserve that. Like you cut in front of all these people, and okay, yeah, whatever.
I love that last scene because at the beginning of the entire episode, Mac tells him, "By the way, guys, don't you dare sit on the drains that are on the bottom of the pool, because it'll suck your butthole right out." And at the end of the episode, that's exactly what he does.
That's another thing I love about Always Sunny is like when they have conversations like that, you can tell like a lot of it is improv. Yeah. Because like he says that, and then they're all like, "Yeah, okay, we weren't gonna do that. We weren't gonna do that anyway. Like, why did you think like oh, that's weird. Yeah, I wasn't gonna do that. Like, what's going on? Like, they have that kind of like Charlie, Dennis, and Mac have like that kind of banter that's like only like close friends have like that kind of synergy. You know what I'm talking about?
Totally.
Yeah, and also like Charlie and Frank, them two like as a pair are just like they're so perfect. Like it's like
I forget, is the Frank episode season 11 or season 12?
You're talking about the one where
it's all first person.
Oh, that's season 11. That's a good episode. I forgot about that one. That's a great episode.
Yeah. I just couldn't remember because season 12 and 11 kind of blurred together for me. And like what you tell me, I'm like kind of remembering the season as I go through. I was like, oh, that was season 12.
Yeah. I haven't. So like they took Always Sunny off of Netflix,
right?
And I thought it was gonna be gone forever. So I haven't watched it in a long time. But like I got Hulu, and Hulu has all of them.
Right.
So I'm definitely gonna like try and run through it again. But I hope I'm sure we could check right now. But I hope Netflix gets all of them back too, because Netflix is just easier for me. It's like
it's just easier.
Yeah, it's just on my PS4. Like I have Hulu too, but I don't know. It's right there. It's right there. I don't like logging into different shit. Just put it all in one.
You need an Apple TV, man. It consolidates everything.
I mean, so does the PS4, but I'm just being really lazy at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so I will definitely go home, watch season 13. Have you been playing anything, Ernie?
Yeah, actually, there was a big sale for Nintendo at the beginning of the year, and the Nintendo Super Mario Brothers plus Rabbids, like the best fucking edition of it, like the gold one.
Okay, yeah.
Was on sale, and it went down from like $89 down to like $19.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, it was really cheap, and then I think I used my coins, and I got it for even cheaper than that.
Nice. Okay.
Dude, it is a very, very fun game, and I remember initially when it came out, people were like, and it's like it's kind of garbagey, blah blah blah.
I do know a lot of people that liked it, only because it was the only Switch game. There was like Breath of the Wild or this when it first came out, and a lot of people were just like, it's actually really good because I have nothing else to play. But
I have plenty to play right now.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, what I'm saying is, you have a more honest opinion at this point.
Yeah, because let's just put it this way. Right now, I'm playing like Red Dead Redemption. I'm playing Super Smash Brothers.
And you're playing.
And I'm playing this.
Okay.
And right now, I've kind of like sunk into this world because it has this really great Advanced Wars feel to it.
Okay.
So it's essentially like if you played anything like XCOM,
yeah,
or Advanced Wars or anything like that, it's very much.
A lot of people were comparing it to XCOM.
Yeah. It has a very, very, very familiar feel to it. Okay. But the great thing about it is, and this is the great thing about anytime Nintendo does anything, they put their flair on it.
Yeah.
But also it has the Rabbids, kind of comedy spin to everything.
Right.
So. It's just it's really cool. It's akin to like I've been saying that a lot. I mean, it's kind of like in Mario RPG where you get these new characters that kind of meld into your party.
Yeah.
Whole party system that takes place. There's a skill tree. There's a lot of like, oh, this is 50% cover. This is 100% cover. And then Mario's trademark like jump takes place because like everybody has this ability where if you move your character towards that character and you push A, it actually gives your character a boost. So like they like jump off that character, they get a boost, and then you can actually move somewhere else. So
like
setting
over
up
walls and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Or just on top. So like right now, I'm barely at like the second world because I just barreled through the first one. Mario got the ability to like when he gets launched, he can actually jump on top of another character, like a bad guy, hit them, and then jump off somewhere else.
Okay.
So this ability to strategize and put your people where they need to go
So you can use them as like stepping stones.
Exactly.
Cool.
And then they also have other like pretty unique abilities. Like they have a fire sight. So like if it's there, because it takes place in the same way XCOM does or Advance Wars. It's your turn, and then when you don't have any more movements, it shifts over to their turn.
Okay.
Right. So, but during their turn, you have what's called like fire sight, and Mario gets all like Dragon Ball Z and crap.
Okay.
And then if he sees if there's anybody in his eyesight that moves, he'll take a shot.
Oh, cool.
So like you have to plan when to activate this power, because then it takes 3 turns for it to regenerate.
Okay.
It's super strategic, because the bad guys in it. Now, mind you, I've only played the first world, but they are very, very unique in that not only are they always running for cover, but they also they utilize their space very well. And then there's some that have, like, it's a gun kind of game, so that's why they're comparing it to XCOM. But there's these big bruisers who come after you. So every time, like, and the way they make that set of characters really, really dangerous is every time you shoot them, they're allowed to move forward.
Okay.
So, like, they're these big bruisers that have this big stone block, and every time you shoot them, they just move forward towards you. They don't move much.
But they still take damage.
But they're huge, hulking, like, monsters.
Okay. I probably would not like this game, only because...
Why? You liked Advance Wars, didn't you?
I kind of didn't. And the last game that I played like this was Fire Emblem Awakening on 3DS. And I really, really tried to like that game, and I was just like, this is fucking stupid. Like, whatever. If that's a game for smart people, then I'm an idiot, because I was just very uninterested. And
not to like say that this is a dumb game, but this really makes the whole thing very fun.
It's a lot more streamlined.
It's not that it's more streamlined. It's just more I don't know how to put it that it's more fun, but Nintendo has this way of turning this RTS kind of thing. It makes it super fun.
Okay, you know what? Because like Advance Wars is different from like Fire Emblem, because I remember in Advance Wars it was like you just attacked. Once you got somewhere, right? In Fire Emblem, it was like you got to reach someone, and then it goes into another screen.
No, this is not like that.
Okay, so maybe it's a little faster, a little snappier.
It's a little snappier because you don't have like blocks that you can go to and everything like that. You just have an area that you can move within. Okay. So if you, for example, you have this move called the dash move, where if you run up to an enemy, you can push A, and then that gives you another little line to move more. So essentially, you just kind of do this slide kick, and you trip them. Okay. Right, and then you can run back to your space. So it's not as you know what I mean. Like because in Fire Emblem you're fighting with swords and stuff. Yeah. You have to be right in their face. Yeah. In this one you can, because your guns you can be like more further away. But I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, because RTSs are not my favorite thing either. I've really tried to play.
It doesn't feel like an RTS. What it seems like is a kind of strategy game like Advance Wars. You had it like that's.
Yeah, because this is like a ranged attack kind of thing. I just love that the terrain at this point they mix it up so well. Like at one point they have what are the chain chomps, like these giant chain chomps, and what you want to do is make it so that the enemies are always the one that's being attacked by it. Okay. Because the chain chomp, when it's in the vicinity, it has its own turn. Okay. And so you try to, like, every weapon has a certain effect. It's called bounce, ink, and honey. If you hit them with some honey, they can't move because they get stuck to the floor. Okay. Ink allows them they can't see you when you move around. Okay. So they can't spot you most of the time, so they can't move and see you. And then the little spring means if you hit them, you can bounce them around the level. Okay. And that's what you kind of want to do. You want to use those weapons specifically to bounce them into the chain chomp. That way they get bitten. Okay. Forgive me, but this is a bit hard for me to visualize. So I assume it all looks nicer too than I should say, like, it's got the Mario aesthetic, so it looks a little funner than like. You know what? It looks like if you took New Super Mario Brothers and you made it 3D. Okay. It's very blocky because everything kind of needs to have like a grid feeling to it. But it feels like super like carefree and stuff. But there, you essentially traverse these levels by going like to these different areas, and the areas obviously look like they're ready for a battle. And that's once you walk into this place, the mission starts.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, it's super fun. Plus, like, of course, they have between these levels, there's these little secrets that you can go and find, and your party eventually gets abilities to unlock other areas like push and lift and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
It's a lot of fun, especially when you start getting the other characters. Because right now, I only have 4 characters, which is Rabbid Luigi and Rabbid Peach. And then I just got Rabbid Luigi, and he uses a vacuum cleaner gun.
Do you ever get regular Peach?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe you do.
Then
you actually, in the DLC, you got Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I saw
which was
that
fun.
actually. Yeah.
But it's so much fun. Everybody else has like little hand cannons.
Yeah.
Like in the cover. Luigi has a vacuum sniper rifle.
Okay.
So he can actually shoot further, and then he has a little drone that he can throw out. That's what makes it, like, he doesn't have much health, but he has drones and he has snipers.
The Rabbid Luigi?
No. The regular Luigi. He has the little vacuum from the...
Poltergust.
Exactly. And all of his guns are kind of themed that way.
That's cool.
The guns are very, like, nicely themed.
I'm glad Luigi's getting some recognition for his, like, Luigi's Mansion series of games. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in Smash Brothers, he has his vacuum. So his grab is the Poltergust.
Is it? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And his final smash is also the Poltergust, which is like, oh, that's so cool. Instead of that weird shit that he had in Brawl.
Where he danced.
Yeah, where he had like this weird like psychedelic like negative field that would... It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you know this guy has games. He has games. You could just use that. Like, what are you doing? It's so weird. But yeah, unfortunately... I have not been playing anything really, other than, you know, Overwatch. Today actually was the first day of I think it's called the I don't remember what it's called, but it's like it's kind of like the Diva Cola Challenge, the Nano Cola Challenge.
Oh yeah.
So this is like an Anna challenge thing, where like you play a certain amount of games and you get like you get an icon and like sprays and all this stuff. Watch the streams at certain times, and they'll also have drops for you to get. And the skin is like the main thing that you get, and it's a really cool looking skin. It's like from this comic book that they had, where they also mentioned that Soldier 76 is gay, and everybody flipped out over the internet because I guess a fake character's sexuality is a big deal for a lot of people for some reason. I don't know why.
No, I mean it wasn't a big deal because they already have a gay character in that.
No, you don't understand, dude. Soldier 76 was trending all day on Twitter, and I didn't know why because I don't look at my phone during like work. I'll just like glance at it like if I go to the bathroom, but I can't really like scroll through everything, right?
Right.
And I'm just like, why the fuck is Soldier 76 like
trending?
Everybody was like, fuck Overwatch. Like last week, everybody was like, Overwatch is dead. I'm quitting Overwatch. And I'm like, and today it's like everyone is in love with Overwatch. What the hell is going on? But whatever. So I guess next time Blizzard's having a bit of a funk, just announce another character's gay, and then you're good, dude. Like,
well, it seems kind of nice that they did it during CES.
Sure.
So,
okay.
I mean, maybe that's kind of what like they decided to release this so that they'd have something to talk about at CES.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm not saying like Overwatch is stale. I love Overwatch, but I know a lot of like top players and like people that play it competitively and stuff. They're just like, we don't give a shit about the skins no more, Blizzard. We want like real fucking changes to this game and stuff. And
they've added so many characters throughout the years.
Yeah, they have, and to be fair, they've been updating it a lot more recently because they know people are mad, and you know, like,
what are they mad about exactly?
It's because like the way Blizzard likes to do things, or the way the Overwatch team specifically likes to do things.
Yeah.
Every time they add a new character, that character's broken, and so it's like they'd rather break it first and then tone it down from there, as opposed to like throwing in a weak character and making him shitty and then
building him up.
Yeah. And it's,
they want somebody to fall in love with them, right?
It's so funny too because like so many changes are like being reverted back to like early like I know this won't mean a lot to anybody who doesn't play. I'm sorry, but McCree has like his Fan the Hammer back from day one. So if you don't know, McCree's Fan the Hammer used to do like 330 damage, which is a lot. His right click, where he just
hammers, yeah.
Yeah. And it got severely nerfed. It used to do like 175, which is like half of it. but they restored it recently because they were like, people learned how to play, so they don't complain about it anymore. You know, like he needs, like he actually needs this to be viable, and it wasn't like what I'm trying to say is like Overwatch team probably didn't think it was a problem at first, but the community did, and it's so like now that everybody knows how to play, it's like, oh, okay, now it's okay now because.
Well, it makes sense because if there's something that does a lot of damage and people figure out how to do it, they'll just spam the hell out of it.
Yeah, and like Reaper was somebody who was like really strong at first, but got severely nerfed. Over the years or over the passing time or whatever, and like just recently now he's gotten like one of the best buffs that he's ever gotten, just so he can be relevant again. So it's gonna be pretty cool. Like I that's what makes me really excited for like everything Overwatch is that like they're constantly updating it and like every patch is different. So like I don't know. I'm just like to me it seems worth it to stay up to date.
Well, considering you only paid $60 for a game,
I paid $40.
$40 for a game that has lasted at this point like 4 years.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Games don't usually last that long.
But I have good news for anybody who likes Devil May Cry 5.
Is there something new?
And owns any console or a PC, because February 7th, I believe, I hope that date is right, they are releasing the demo on everything. As of right now, the demo's not even on Xbox Live anymore. They took it down. You can still play it.
If you have it.
But if you didn't get it, you fucked up. So February 7th, they're going to add this to everything with a few changes, they said.
Not to Switch, though.
Oh, shit. That's not a console. Nintendo does its own thing. They're like their own guys.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so... what I think they're gonna do, I think they're just gonna add enemy hop because that's what everybody wants. Is like,
yeah, I'm sure they will, Steve. It's just like everything that I told you. Like they'll just douse. They're just like dealing it out in little bits. You know.
Yeah,
like,
I hope they.
Are they gonna have Dante? And then they're like, oh, there's the Dante.
I hope they add more arms. Like if it's the same demo with more arms, I'm fucking good, dude. Like I can play it at the comfort of my own home. I don't have to borrow Ernie's Xbox to play it. I'm good, dude. Like.
Wish you had this Xbox because there's no frame drops in this Xbox.
I'm gonna play it on a computer actually, so there will not be any kind of dropping.
We'll see.
No, the only thing dropping is gonna be my jaw from these graphics, if you know what I'm talking about.
You want to hear? So I heard somebody, like, I can't tell you who, but somebody gave me a rumor.
Okay.
For a little Nintendo Switch news. I don't know if it's a rumor or been confirmed or whatever, but I heard this year Nintendo's or last year, they started working on a new Switch.
Yeah, that's been in the
rumor mill?
In the realm of rumors. Yeah, because I actually told my friend that like last week that like they're working on an updated Switch, and it's not clear yet whether or not it's going to be more powerful or if it's just going to be a redesign.
So what I heard, and I'm pointing at a Switch right now, so you guys can't see this, but essentially. There's a border, if you can imagine this, there's a border around the screen of the Switch.
Okay.
That's going to go completely away, and the edges of it are going to get beveled, so it feels almost like an infinite screen.
Kind of like the
iPhone.
The Google has a phone like that.
iPhone, Samsung, Google Pixel 3, they all have it now.
The curved screen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So your phone has that?
Yeah, it has like an infinite screen, so it looks like it keeps going.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, even though it doesn't. So they're gonna do that, and the base model has like more. It has a better chip.
Okay.
And so essentially, it's like, but everything else remains the same because, from what I understand, the Joy-Cons are still gonna work with your new system. So okay. I have a feeling they're gonna be announcing kind of like this whole migration system where if you switch over to new Switch. The reason will be that, first of all, it has more storage power, so it can take more than 256.
I would like more storage, personally, because I have a shitload of games that are
Me
just
too.
Like in cloud.
I have tons of game on there. And I just downloaded the Rabbids game, so I'm running out of space. But not only that, all your stuff's going to still work with it, but I feel like they're going to also come out with the base model that's in the middle. It's going to come in colors.
Oh, that would be cool, yeah.
Yeah, so that you're not just stuck with the black, like,
I thought you were going to say, like, they might just sell the screen, and you just put the Joy-Cons on a new screen.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Like, that would be cool. I'm down for that. Like, hey, just sell that bad boy in the middle. Let me use the same dock and everything, and I'm good, dude. Because
That's not a bad idea, to be honest. But that's essentially what the new Switch could possibly be.
Okay. Well,
I know they're already working on it, and I know they've kind of already finished it, so they're probably going to start talking about it soon.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Like, honestly, too, it's like I always feel like that's like a good thing because, like, when PlayStation and Xbox made their slim versions of like 360 and PS3, that's when I got mine. So it's like it's an opportunity for like newer people to get in, or if new people want to get the old models for cheaper, you know.
Exactly.
So, like,
because everything still works. It's just like I have my Xbox One S here.
Yeah.
But I lent Steven my Xbox and it still played the game. It chugged a little, but it still played the old games. You know what I mean? So it's still.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess I just really want more storage.
Imagine if they sold an all white Switch.
I'm not an all white guy. Like, I understand a lot of people like their shit white, and that's cool. Mm-hmm. I know I have a white phone, but they was passed down to me.
All right, Steve. It's not like you begged for that.
The only color I give a shit about is black. Because
I would like more colors. It'd be cool to have more colors.
There's these cases on Amazon.
Yeah.
That are like they're atomic purple. Like the Nintendo 64 and Game Boy Color that came out, where you could see through them. They're like translucent.
Yeah.
So you could see the circuitry inside. And I was like, oh, dude, that's so badass.
You have to assemble them yourself.
Yeah, but I have to take apart my Switch, and I don't want to do that. Like, that's one thing I'm like, nah, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess anything. I use my
If it was a DS, I'm like, okay, I'll give that a whirl, because the DS was... $200 at some point, and I was like, if I mess it up, I can always buy another.
I remember I used to mod my original DS Lite a lot. Like, I kept switching out the cases and stuff, and eventually, like, I fucked up the screws and I couldn't do it anymore. So
that's we actually ordered that triangle screw.
The Nintendo screwdriver. Yeah,
that was fun.
You know what's pretty random too is Target had like this massive deal on 3DS games recently. Mm-hmm. I guess they were trying to like clear out their storage.
Inventory, yeah.
They had a bunch of games for like $5. My friend texted me like at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, and it was like, "Are you going to Target by any chance?" And I was like, "No." What the fuck are you talking? Like,
why are you waking me up at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, and he was like, A Link Between Worlds on Country Returns and all this shit is like $5 right now if you want to go get it. And I was like,
if I didn't already have those games.
I was like, hey, bro, that's great, but I got a Switch, so I don't give a shit about the 3DS anymore.
Plus, I already have all those games.
Yeah. Sorry, I was drinking something. But yeah, that's cool. I hope that's true. I'm down for another Switch. I don't give a shit. But speaking of demos, just to wrap this up real fast. Apparently Resident Evil 2 is also going to get a demo.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be this week. I'm sorry. I usually have all this information on hand, but I'm sorry. They're having a demo, and it's supposed to be like a 30-minute timed demo. Mm-hmm. You can only play it once. So if you're planning on streaming it, or if you're planning on recording gameplay, you better fucking get a different account or something ready. Because
just do a bunch of guest accounts.
Because it's apparently like you play it through once. I don't think there's any end in sight. I think it's just like you have 30 minutes. Do whatever you want. You need to explore. You need to do something like whatever. So it's interesting. Yeah. Like I'm sure people will have different playthroughs, and they're gonna be like, oh, maybe you didn't go here on your playthrough because you only got 30 minutes. Whatever. Right. You know. Like, so it's cool. It sounds really cool. I'm not a huge
Resident Evil fan.
I don't get super hyped for like remakes. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, Final Fantasy VII remake was like sounded cool at first, but it's like it's been like 11 years since it got announced, so I don't really care anymore.
I'm over it. I'm totally over it.
Yeah, like they're just I don't know. Like, it looks really good though. Like graphically, it looks really good.
Sure.
And I know Resident Evil 2 was like one of the ones. Like I remember I even played that game as a kid, and I don't even like Resident Evil that much. Like, yeah, but anyway, check that out if you can. I'm pretty sure it's on everything. I saw it on like a PlayStation website, so I don't know if it's on everything, but I'm pretty sure it's on everything.
Well, if it's Capcom, maybe not.
Why?
Because I don't know, Capcom and PlayStation have been pretty tight lately.
Resident Evil 2 Remake's not PlayStation exclusive, right?
I have no idea, but like I said, I'm not sure because I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
because of like Street Fighter, they got a tight relationship because of Street Fighter. The whole like them funding it or whatever.
Yeah. Even it was a big turd.
I don't. It's a whole different story. But yeah, so I think that's everything. I think that's all we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
You can catch us on iTunes.
Yes, you can.
On iTunes, we are the Radio Toons.
Right.
Radio Toons podcast. I think if you type that in, you'll find us.
Yeah.
If not, look harder.
You can usually find me on most anything, Facebook, Twitter, and like Instagram at Ernie.
Okay. I'm Soho Shuffle. At Soho Shuffle on Twitter. That's where I frequent most of my time. I'm usually there.
You can check out a lot of the doodles. You've been doodling a lot.
I draw a lot, and I post them on there if you want to check them out.
Mm-hmm.
And then on SoundCloud, we are Radio Toons Podcast. So,
right. And if you have any suggestions or anything, or you just want to chit chat, comment on the show.
Hey, what are you doing? We don't want suggestions. I already know what I want to talk about. No, yeah, sure. If you want to leave a comment and say like, if you only positive things, no negativity.
Okay? No negativity, because you grow if you have no criticism.
We're positive Twitch streamers. We're all positivity. No, I'm just kidding. Say whatever you want. I don't give a shit. But yeah, sure. Drop us a line. That does it for this week. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week, guys.